Today, we're going to talk about some picture books that you can use in your online ESL classroom. My name is Dr. Melissa McCrory Hatcher. I have my PhD in English, specializing in children's literature, and I post monthly videos about homeschooling and children's books. Today, I want to give you some ideas and strategies for how to use picture books in your online ESL classroom. I just signed my fourth contract with vipkid, and I think it is the best side hustle for me as an adjunct professor and as a homeschool mom. And I have a whole nother video about why I chose to do this, and I'll link that below. But today I want to talk about why I use picture books and how I use picture books in my classroom. First of all, no offense against tic-tac-toe, but we are being paid. These parents are giving us their hard-earned money to teach their children English and to practice those English skills. And so I want to make every second of those 25 minutes count in a fun and engaging way for my students. So I will use picture books to illustrate a concept, and I will also use them as a reward. And I have found huge success. I have gotten great reviews and feedback from students and from parents. Another great thing about using picture books as your rewards instead of spending money going to Dollar Tree or shopping on Amazon, you can go to the library. You can ask your friends, maybe with older kids, do they have any books? Ask your parents, do they have any books left over? If you're a parent, you probably already have a lot of these in your home. Don't spend money on a job that you got to make money, right? So I think that's another reason I think books are a great reward. So before I get going, you should know I only teach by choice levels 3 and above through vipkid. And I don't know what the equivalent that would be on some of the other companies, but it would be kind of intermediate to advanced students. Some of these concepts and a couple of the books, particularly at the end, I'm going to share my favorite ones, the most popular ones at the end of this video, I think could be applicable to younger students as well, but I wanted to start with that disclosure. First thing, animals. There are so many animal lessons. Also, animals are just really popular. So if you look back through the teacher feedback and see that this kid really loves animals, that's a great reward for a student, is to go through an animal book. Any of the Eric Carle, Baby Bear, Polar Bear, they introduce some strange animals, and I have the students read these out loud. And it's words that they normally wouldn't see in my class, like striped skunk, the idea of a mule deer. I think that's a really, fun, interesting words, and it's a very quick rhythmic read that they really enjoy. But really, any animal books are going to be excellent in your classroom. It seems like there's also a lot of weather lessons. Gail Gibbons has some wonderful books on both weather and space, animals as well, that might be a good addition to your classroom. Generally, I will just use the pictures. I don't necessarily read some of these out loud, but you certainly could. The next way that I use picture books is for holidays. My students are so curious about American holidays. And so it's a great way to extend, whether just through showing pictures from a couple of pages, or reading the book out loud. So they get 5 stars, so we might read 1 or 2 pages, for each little break in class. And it's a fun way to break up class. So around July 4th, we might read a book like America the Beautiful. Again, there's another Gail Gibbons books that I've used on St. Patrick's Day or Valentine's Day, any of those smaller holidays. But this book I keep in my classroom because it has so many great illustrations and maps that I can show them when we're talking about the differences in our 2 countries and cultures. Another holiday, but also he's mentioned in one of the upper levels, they have a whole lesson on Dr. King. I have these wonderful 2 picture books that I will certainly, if nothing else, just show the illustrations. But I do try to generally read a couple pages and have the students try to read a couple of the pages about Dr. King and other heroes. The next section I would like to discuss is student interests. So as you can see from my classroom, I have marketed myself to teach girls. That's just a side tip. There are so many teachers on the platform now. I think it's beneficial to kind of find your niche. So I primarily teach girl students. There are many teachers who will use flowers from the Dollar Tree and show them those physical rewards. I also have had a lot of luck using a flower book where it shows the flower, we can discuss it, there might be some text. So that's a great idea for upper level girls. Another one, I have many students who love music. Zin, 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 a violin. It's a wonderful, fun to read, very short, very quick sections, beautiful illustrations. Great book to read about classical music, which many of them take lessons every single day. For my boy, I do have some boy students, and the rewards that are often most popular for them would be Star Wars and Harry Potter. Also, I did not know until I took this job how incredibly popular the NBA is. So I have in my son's room a LeBron James book that is by far my most favorite book to read for my students. I had a regular student for a long time, and we would just read a page or two if we got through the lesson fast enough. So we saved it for the very end. And so that's something we worked on over several lessons. So finding their hobbies and choosing a book accordingly, I think is a really great strategy. The last two books I want to show you are so important. I use these all the time. So we're going on a bear hunt. Very popular old book. You could probably find a used copy on Amazon for a few cents. This is really great to talk about prepositions: over, under, through, above, and it gives them a really clear picture both in their head but also an image of those prepositions. And even my older students need to review that, and it's rhythmic, it's a fast read. This is a definite one I keep in my classroom and reference a lot. I've also seen recommended on ESL websites, If You Give a Pig a Pancake. And I have not had huge success with that book. There's a lot of variations. If you give a mouse a cookie, so on and so forth. I just found those very long, and because of how I would break them up in the class or break them up over several lessons with my regular students, that book didn't particularly work for me, but it might be something to check out. And the book I use the most often is 1 Foot, 2 Feet, an exceptional counting book. So this is a simple book that my 15, 16, I've had 17-year-old students can read this so quickly, and it's just such a good review. And these are those words that don't make any sense, right? The irregular plurals. Why? Why would it become 1 die becomes 6 dice? Who knows? You just have to memorize them. And this book is a great way to remind them. So if they make an error, I'll say, that's an irregular plural. We can get out our book real quick. We can go through this in less than a minute sometimes for my regular students, and they love it. It's cute, it's fun, it's quick, it's not too babyish. So definitely check out 1 Foot, 2 Feet, an exceptional counting book. Thank you so much for listening, and please stay tuned to my channel for more book recommendations in the future. Thanks.